We've just gone live. Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf. This is episode 73, recorded live on August 12th, 2016. Another Friday night. Gentlemen, tonight I'm joined by John Ryan, Queensland rep elect.
Yeah.
Default.
Default, the sweetest word in the English language.
Exactly. And joining us for the first time tonight, we have Brad Hanna, all the way from up in the sunny Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, well,
I hope it's been sunny up there.
yeah, it has been. It's a beautiful day today.
Don't rub it in.
Rainy, but today was beautiful.
Very good. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Good to be on here for the first time. Long-time listener, first-time podcaster.
It's I suppose while we're going into what we've been doing this week, what do you collect? What's your collection made up of, and where did you first get into Transformers?
Probably first got into Transformers when I was probably 4. I'm an old G1er from when I used to watch the cartoons on Saturday mornings when they became the first ones, new ones came up, and then you'd go to soccer in the morning and talk to the other kids about what episode it was and what happened. And I remember when the Dinobots first came on, in the first episode the Dinobots were on, we all started talking about it at soccer. That's probably my most vivid memory.
Yeah.
And then got away from it, and then just didn't pay any attention to it for a long time. Through Energon and all those things, I didn't pay any attention to it. And then when they started reissuing the G1 figures, I thought I had the money because I had a job. I was out working, so started buying up some reissued figures that I never had as a kid, and that's where it took off from there, and I started getting back into it. So
disposable income.
Yes, pretty much. Not so much anymore, but it's there.
Yeah.
But mostly my collection is MPs, masterpieces, and I'm pretty picky about what I buy and what I pick up, because just having the money to do it and everything else. So yeah, I pick up the odd bits and pieces. I've got the Marvel comics, the first 4 issues. I got them in a comic store in London when I was over in the UK for a wedding. So I was pretty stoked about that. I framed them up. So that's probably my pride of my collection at the moment.
Nice. Are they displayed, or are they just stored away for safekeeping?
Yeah, I went and bought a frame and kept them in the plastic bags. Then the backboard that it came in, and pinned up on the wall. So in the pride of the collection. So yeah, and the other one's probably the Prime MP10 trailer that I got signed by Peter Cullen in the last Supernova.
Yep.
Last year's Supernova in Brisbane. So it's pretty stoked to meet him. It was one of those moments you think, man, this is the dude that I've been listening to for all my life. So it was good. It was good to meet him. It was a really nice guy.
Well, like Frank Welker, it's from across. It's not just Transformers. It's from across so many different franchises. The voice talent between the two of them, and I remember you're talking Brisbane Supernova November last year. I'd missed. I'd got Dylan, our vice president, to sign a Prime trailer for me when he was over there, and I was seriously considering. And in the end, it just come through to I didn't have enough notice for work to take the Friday off. I was actually going to fly to Brisbane just to do the Prime thing, the Peter Cullen thing for Brisbane, but it never worked out, and I've been hoping ever since that he comes back just so I can do it in person. But we have a few people in the group, either at Adelaide or Brisbane, got to meet him, and they're definitely high points. Getting something signed and getting a photo and putting that on a display somewhere. It's it's. I suppose you could say it's a pinnacle of the collecting. Like, not only do you have the signature of the person that voiced the character, but it's on sort of whether it's the Prime trailer is a perfect. It's probably one of the biggest flat spots you could put a signature on.
Yeah, well, well, that was the thing. Like, cool moment with him because I got to sign it, and when he went to sign, he said, "What do you want me to write on it?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. It's all or one." That's one of my lines. So he signed that, and then when he went to write is the signature, and he said I'll do it on the other side, and I said, no, that's fine. It's cool. It's okay. It's not like I'm going to sell it on or anything like that. It's going to be something that's going to stay with me for a long time, and my daughters are going to, my eldest daughter's probably going to get it. You know, who knows? And he goes, "Oh, what's your daughter's name?" And I said, "Emily." And he said, "Well, you tell Emily that Optimus Prime says to see." And he went into Optimus's voice for that piece. And I was like,
that's awesome.
And he said, "Oh, you tell Emily that Optimus Prime said to say hello." And he went to that Optimus Prime point, that's when he turned into Optimus Prime's voice. And I was like, "Holy dooly, that was cool." So that was probably a definite highlight for that trailer to get signed, and then for him to do something like that for me, that was cool.
And
now Emily's watching Winnie the Pooh, so you hear Eeyore and you hear Peter Cullen there, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a couple of months ago I brought Igel's first two volumes, The Rescue Rangers, and saying to the young fella, I said, "Monterey Jack, that's Optimus Prime. They're doing that."
Yeah.
and Zipper's Megatron, like first our enemies, now they're best friends.
Yeah. It's cool they're sticking together with the voice acting, and they kind of, and you see it now that Peter Cullen is now getting Frank Welker to try. You guys were talking about it, I think that and I listened to the TFW podcast as well with Vangelis, and he was saying that Peter Cullen is trying to influence Frank Welker to come in and do a lot of the conventions and stuff like that as well that go on to try and get him out there again. So it's good to see.
I was the TF Con last year. The two that Welker went to last year, and I think from all accounts, what we've heard, he had a good time at them. The fans, there were some needy fans, which I suppose if you got that many people in one space, there's going to be issues. But he had fun with it, and I just hope that he can see that we appreciate it, and hope that he sort of does more of it. Because even you look at, I'd have to check, but pre-movie, I don't think Cullen would have been doing a lot of the bot cons back then, or any of that sort of thing too. Like, since the movies are out, that's all promotion for the movies. That's like 2007 through to 2011, 12. Whereas now it's just Prime. It's Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
Especially since Transformers Prime come out and he retook on the voice again. So had Frank, and now RID again. So it's more than the movie that he's voicing in. So he can get out and start talking about it again.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Prime series. I thought it was brilliant, really well done. A bit of darkness as well as just a good animated feature to watch, especially with something that you're so interested in and so invested in as well. So.
Yeah, and that's probably something we can talk about when we get to one news story tonight about what makes something geared towards adults or adult themed or sort of along those lines. But yes, we will be talking about Machinima episode 2 a little bit later. Not for 40 minutes like we did last week. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're going to tone it right back tonight. I think it's interesting. No offense, but hearing someone older in the collector community talking about G1 as seeing it when they were young. Just imagining, as you said, coming home and watching SOS Dinobots and sort of those first episodes, and sort of understanding how that nostalgia is so strong. Like, personally, that was Beast Wars for me. So coming home, watching a lot of the Beast Wars episodes, the end of season 1 when Prime blew up, I I was running around the farm for 3 weeks going, Prime's dead, Prime's dead. which wasn't the 86 movie at that time. It was Prime's dead in Beast Wars End of Season 1, so it's sort of... It's just interesting how your childhood mind captures things, and just... It's just that nostalgia.
Yeah, it's interesting, different takes on different people's depictions of what they... Because I've probably only watched 2 episodes of Beast Wars and stuff, and you see that's kind of the pinnacle now. That's the next thing when you see them, the toys and stuff still in their boxes. They're the ones that still seem to claim the highest amount. So the nostalgia point and the need is still there. The people want it, which is cool. And so, but for me, it's G1. But you look at stuff for G1, and unless it's in your mind fresh, it's not. It's still there, and you can go back and watch G1, and you just look at it and you think there's so many animation errors, but it's so into your heart that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it's like. And
that's we talk every time there's a new masterpiece released, every time there's a new third-party figure released from G1, like scale. A lot of the times, yes, they've got that universal scale guide, but that wouldn't cover 50% of the cartoon. Like every episode, there's different scale. It's all what you see.
But that still just comes down to animation. But like they still have a set scale, and like a good way to represent this is you probably don't watch Evangelion like Neon Genesis, but in Neon Genesis, the animators actually came forward and said, here's their set size, but in the series, we animated them as large as they needed to be for the scene. So there's clearly scenes where they're bigger than buildings, but then in their technical stats, they've got a certain height, like they'd only be half the size of that building, but in the anime, they straightforward said, we animated them as large as they needed to be for the scene, because they wanted it to feel... so you felt how big they were or how powerful it was. So when I see something like that that's a lot newer than G1, it's something that there was no animation problems or defects. That's how they chose to do it. So then I can look back at G1 and think, well, that's really what was happening there. Like, it's not that they meant to mess it up, but sometimes you can't show Devastator grabbing a robot without drawing that robot a bit bigger, or otherwise, because they just didn't have the skill back then. Like, the technology. So that's what happens, I think. Like, and then we all take it too far because, like you're saying, everyone experiences it different. The nostalgia comes across differently for everyone. So it all, that's what then brings this big argument up with scale and everything. But ideally, there had to be a scale. Like, no matter what animation errors there were, everything, in their minds when they were created, they were drawn like this guy that big, this guy that big, this guy that big. That's I can only assume.
Yeah, I think you're right, because if you look at different scenes and everything as well, you look at as it was in the G1, just an episode with Devastator in it. He's Devastator gets together, and but then
in the movie he's in Astro Train. They assemble in the back of Astro Train, so he can't be that big.
The movie doesn't count.
In the '86 movie, when he's piling through the door, he's huge. He has this menacing look on his face. So I guess it's scene to scene that they have. Like you're right, they need to draw it for that particular scene. It's not so much just this is what we think it is. It's for the scene and how it's got to look. So
that's it.
Interesting enough too. You have a look at what perspective it's coming from, and it's something smart I noticed that I haven't noticed before. Is if it's sort of coming from Spike or not from another robot perspective. Like the Autobots, you're always looking down, they're always standing up above, like it's a low-down shot up at the robots. If it's the Autobot talking to each other, they're always at head height. And with the combiners, unless it's someone actually Bumblebee or whatever taking on or shooting at a combiner, it's always... If it's Bumblebee shooting the combiner, it's always down from where Bumblebee's height would be, so he's so much bigger.
That's it, and they were probably trying to draw those proportions, but just messed it up back then.
Yeah, and even like Devastator's attack on Autobot City, it's sort of, you got Springer and Hot Rod, which are all sort of deluxe size standard small cars, looking up, fair enough. Yeah, okay. Why is the door as big as Devastator or the wall? But
Yeah.
anyway, but same sort of thing. It's interesting to see that sort of perspective where just watch where they're like a lot of times where Prime's doing a motivational speech or something. It's always from Spike or Sparkplug looking up at him, and he's always standing up straight and
bright and shiny and clean and
yeah.
monstrous.
Yeah. Yep. And if JJ done the movie, there'd be a lens flare behind his head. So.
Well, we didn't, so we got lots of explosions instead. So.
Lens flare explosions. It's bright. John, we're not going to discuss certain events that have been happening this week in the club, but apart from that, anything else you've been up to this week?
No, not really. It's been a pretty boring week for me. Now that I even think about it.
You say boring.
Yeah. I mean, the online side of things have been pretty exciting, but other than that, nah, it's been a quiet week. No new toys. Nothing to brag about, really. Unfortunately. Flowing the old Queensland front.
There's not much faster down here. It's been cold, shitty, raining.
Oh, that's no good.
Got a car in, getting roadwebbed and fixed at Holden at the moment. Should get that back tomorrow. Work. A little bit tired. Last night done the express from Melbourne to Canberra, so I didn't get back until 5 o'clock tonight.
That's crazy.
Fun times.
After the holiday driving, I feel for you guys driving around. How many Ks you guys pull in 12 hours drive?
I got what did I watch last night? I watched Delta Force 2. So now I've caught up with Delta Force 1 and 2 and missing action, so I'm chucked up. And rewatched Evolution from '98, I think it was, with David Duchovny and Stifler.
Oh, that's an old one. I got to watch that again, eh?
I need to take some screen caps. Delta Force 2. There's she's supposed to be a Central American woman. She has the Rey hairstyle from Force Awakens, and you could say she's Rey's mother. So I have found the lineage of the Skywalker daughter from Central America, circa 1986.
It could be.
Yeah. So that's been happening. All right, we'll get into some of the boilerplate stuff. Off the Shelf, the voice of the podcast. That didn't go right. Off the Shelf is the podcast of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. You can find this podcast, all our events, a lot of the stuff the club does on transformerscca.com, and also the YouTube channel where this is going up live. So if you're not seeing this first off on a Friday/Saturday night, you're getting it late. Club and community news. We've passed our July membership, which I probably should change the run sheet. Failing here, but yeah.
Run sheet.
Paid and proud this week. We are sitting at 118 paid members, which, considering we had 200 after a year last year, we've got 118 in the first month and 2 weeks. So, good things ahead.
That's looking good, yeah.
Fingers crossed. We are going to do another paid members giveaway in November before the Christmas giveaway. So if you haven't joined up yet, there's reason to do that. And our Facebook member count has risen to 1,857, which has been hovering. I've been every now and then I'll just check the members and type in a letter, or sometimes, like if I go to tag someone, I'll get a list of 5 or 6 people in the group. I'm like, what's that name? And click on them and go and have a look, and then there's like 4 people there that are either international that I let in back in the early days, and haven't commented since. I've gone, yep, okay, off you go. So it's been, we've probably had about 10 people join the last 2 weeks, but I've probably removed 15. So the member count's pretty steady there. July also, because we were having our new member renewals and new membership sign-up, we had our members giveaway. Congratulations to Dylan and Scott for winning the members giveaway. Dylan got the Ironhide and Scott got the G1 book style Astro Train.
Oh, no.
And yeah, and of course our August donation drive is now on. We've got some great prizes on there. The Make Toys Nemesis Battle Tanker, MP10, Laser Wave, Exhaust, Unite Warriors Bruticus, even though I'm going to shit on that later.
And Rodimus and Cyclonus too.
Yep, that's the Chug one.
It's a good pack, that. That's the really nice Cyclonus with the good purple.
And it's a nice hot rod too. It's not the the titanium one. So
if you say so.
Yeah.
It's hot rod. He's a drunk.
You're a drunk.
You saw the pictures. He was toasted on the bed.
Rightio. Our first news story for tonight from Hasbro. Episode 2 of the Machinima Combiner Wars series has come out, titled The Council. I know we have a council/committee and there's more than 3 people in it, so I don't know.
I just laugh now because now that I think that it's a council, it's a pretty shit council because Starscream gets shot and she just turns around and looks at him like, oh, and then she's like, oh wait, we're under attack. Like it takes them a bit to figure it out.
And he just lolls away on the ground, just in like this whiny little noise, like.
And they both look at him like shocked, like, what's Starscream doing? And then they're sort of like, oh shit, we're under attack.
It's like Cliffjumper from the first episode of G1. It's like, I've got Prime in my optics. And he goes, pew, and shoots him in the shoulders. And he's just like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
It's like Wingblade's taken all this time to scope him in. And
yeah, that's the other end.
We'll get to that in a minute. But on the council thing, yes, fair enough. At least 3 people say there's always an unanimous vote, 2 to 1, whatever else. But when you've got one person saying let's kill the combiners, one person saying let's build more combiners, and one person saying well let's control the combiners, there's no democracy there.
Yeah, and one doesn't listen to Starscream because she just thinks that he's crazy. You used to genocide everyone. Like that's their defense.
It surprised me. I like the opening section where it goes through the meteorites and the dust cloud and all that kind of stuff. I thought I liked that, but then I think as soon as I started hearing Starscream's voice, I just thought, okay.
But did you not mind that it took like a minute and 20, 5 seconds to get Starscream talking?
Yeah.
Me and John commented on this while we're waiting for you to join the call.
Yeah.
The one thing that it seems to be a recurring thing at this point after episode 2. In the first episode, it took a minute and 20 seconds before there was the first line of dialogue after Rock'em Sock'em Robots and the Space Bridge before someone spoke. In this, it's a minute and 25 seconds. So 5 seconds later, Starscream finally lands and brushes himself off, and I think it's Rodimus Optimus Prime. I'm going to call it Hot Rod because it's MP Hot Rod all the way.
And they told us that they were going to be 7-minute episodes, and they're not even. And then they waste a minute and 30 seconds with just animation.
I'm looking, and you need to look at this as a 50-minute thing. If you look at these two together, you've got 10 minutes. You've got the first minute and 20 seconds of Rock'em Sock'em Robots. They land, dialogue, action scene, Wingblade chopping one in half. And then all of a sudden you've got another minute 20 scene, and then Starscream talking to the council, whatever else. It's sort of, it makes sense like that. But when you're looking at these as 5-minute episodes, all the stuff they need to cram into this, and they're wasting a minute and 25 seconds on Starscream flying. I'm almost going to guarantee now that whole sequence we've seen of Starscream in the prequel trailers, I reckon that's going to be in here somewhere. I reckon we're just going to see Starscream flying through the clouds, narrating because Hot Rod didn't want to give him power of a combiner or something. It just.
I don't know, because I'm guessing the next episode they're going to create Victorion.
Well, they said that they were going to create.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to create something, and I reckon Victorion doesn't exist yet in these episodes.
But she has to. She has to exist.
She doesn't have to, because I think that's what this series is about. And they're going to create Victorion. She's going to be the first female combiner. We saw those preludes, but the prelude doesn't necessarily state where in time it is. That's just Victorion giving herself an intro. But I still reckon she's going to be created in the next episode.
Does she not mention a planet? Does she mention a location or anything in that?
Yeah, but she still would have been existing bots that would have originated from somewhere, but I reckon they're going to use this Enigma thing and create a female combiner. That's what I think is going to happen.
We've been talking in chat the whole time since this come out, are they individual bots? What happens? In episode 1 we've seen Nose Cone and Lightspeed broken off Computron. They just float away. There's no let's transform and help out the rest. Even when Computron's laying on the ground and gets his face planted.
I think what we discussed works. Because if you think about it, if they transformed into the limb and then they get severed, they can't just retransform because bits got severed. It would sever the transformation process because they're then stuck in that limb, if that makes sense.
Well,
it wasn't just a clean break, and that's why I think. And not only that, in G1, if they ever got hit like a lethal blow, they just went dodoosh and turned into 5 bots. But clearly, when we just watched before, a leg pops off, an arm pops off, and he still stays as a combiner, which to me shows that they have to be one entity.
The torso is a superior computer. Unless that torso says disconnect.
Like maybe all their transforming cogs, merge together to make the combiner. So therefore, even if the limb gets off, unless they all dismerge at once, it doesn't happen, and then that's dead because its cogs still in with the rest of it.
We're going deep here.
No, but that's just an easy way to sort of consider it because there has to be some sort of science behind it if it was real. It's not.
Brad, what's your impression been? I suppose episode 1. If there's anything from the 4 prequel trailers you want to discuss, you can go for it. But what's your insight on this? Are you a comic reader?
Not really. No. Just because there's no comic shops around. There are comic shops, but that's like Transformers isn't a big deal for them, so they don't stock any. So whenever I get down to Brisbane, I tend to attack the comic shops and try and grab something. But by the time I get them, I'm so far behind that they don't even have the issues that I need to carry on the story. So I tend to listen to different podcasts to try and catch up on what things are doing and what different storylines they're taking. So, and in terms of Combiner Wars, I didn't see the first episode. I haven't watched it, but I did watch the second one just before, and the prelude looks a lot different to what the actual show is actually doing. And so, the animation in the prelude storylines in regards to Prime and Megatron looks completely different to what the animation is like in the show. And you're right, John. Like the you don't know where in the prelude that those places are actually going to take part. And the fact that they were talking about they need to create combiners. And Victoria is a fan-made.
And not only that, and in her prelude, she's talking about how she's the one to fix all this, and she's in control, she's the chosen one and stuff. That's what makes me think they've built her for it, and that's why she's got a god complex. Let's say.
And Windblade's just jealous because she's got to kill everyone, so she's just.
Yeah, she's just lost it.
She's essentially got a souped-up lightsaber at this point. Well, that thing's going to cut Cybertron in half by the time this is over.
It's good to see for once, though, a series where they're just where things die and just flat out die. There's no pansing around it. Like, at least she killed that combiner. There's no coming back.
We've got 8 more episodes. I'm sure they're going to be back.
But if you look at like combiners in the G1 cartoons, there was the one with the Combaticons where they went mental, and Starscream said you've got to hit them from behind, and then when they shot them, they just kind of separated, and that was it.
There you go. Yeah.
Then they just ran off into the distance. But with this one, at least they're taking it to the point where they're saying, okay, you're now dead, we're done with you.
And I don't think they're coming back, Brad, because in this one, Starscream mentioned that Mensor's coming back for them to basically autopsy.
Oh yeah. He confirmed.
So there's no of them coming back. They're dead.
No. My point wasn't not them coming back. My point was this is a current timeline, and we're going to see. We're going to see. We might see maybe one episode of like a flashback of maybe them being created, something happening in episode, them being ejected from Cybertron and sent through the space bridge.
What was before they fell?
Yeah. Because mainly, my whole reason believing for that is that one. I'm sorry, I'm not up with the names, but that one female figure. Bot that was with Windblade on cameos before, she was supposed to be this big crash hot character, and she's doesn't even last the full 5 minutes of the first episode. So I reckon there's got to be some sort of flashback, because also looking at it now,
if that's the end, like if that first episode's the end, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Or the episode 9.
Right, because that's, if anything, that's what I'll see is happen, and that's what's going to be the end, because now she's gone off to like go kill the combiners, and you won't see any more of it. I bet you. I'm calling it now.
But that would go into the whole combiner hunters thing that's in a different comics, so it could very be the case.
Yeah, it could work, and that's what put her up, because now that you're saying that chick's meant to be some hardcore chick, it's obviously going to go back and probably show her and those two having a good time, or their story together, and then coming up to that point, those two combiners falling, her dying, and then Windblade going, that's it, you're all dead.
Plus Oh, go, Brad.
Well, the whole Computron and the dying of the combiners is kind of like, they're calling it Combiner Wars. It's like that movie that Steven Seagal was in, and I think he was headlined, and then he was killed off in the first 10 minutes or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Ages ago, there was a movie that he was in, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's in it. We're going to go watch it." It was after the Under Siege and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then he just died.
He died in like 20 minutes, the first 20 minutes, and that was it. It fell out of a plane. So, is it going to become? There's no combiners left, so they've got to create a combiner, and that's where Victorion's going to come in. There's going to be no one left.
No, there must be other ones left, because they still talk about it. They still discuss it as if there's more that need to be controlled. So it can't I think Superion and Devastator and all that still exist. Like,
Devastator for sure. Like, they can't have this and not have Devastator. And sort of one of those issues with having a 5-minute episode where whatever the math is of Starscream flying around is taken up, where the story is not progressing. I'm just worried, like, we got 10 episodes. I'm just worried that last 3 or 4 episodes is going to be so cram-packed with dialogue to try and finish it. There's 10 episodes.
I don't reckon it's going to be very dialogue heavy at all.
Going off the math, 2 episodes in, 1:20 and 1:25. So there's 20 minutes. No. There's 12 minutes of the 50-minute thing, which is going to be characters flying around doing nothing. I don't.
Yeah, well, the next episode's going to be 1:30 on Optimus Prime's body before he starts talking. Because he came out of the shadow. He came out of the shadow at the end of it.
Yeah, and they'll fight. They'll brawl for
after a minute. After a minute 30.
Yeah, they'll brawl for 1:20 before Prime says, "Don't do this."
Yeah. Wrestle with the gun for 1:20, back and forward.
Then Windblade can do the whole, "They killed my sisters."
Oh, what
But
fun made of that.
He stood on it, kicked a gun away or something, and then walked away into the darkness. And say something.
Yeah, he stood on the gun even though she's like that shooting. He's like stood on it, and then she's like, "What?" And he's like, pew, and just disappeared into the shadows just for a dramatic reveal. Because the worst thing is, like, you see the red bit come down, so it must have been his hand come down and grab it because his legs are blue. Just
maybe he threw the roller at her.
Yeah. And the whole, as you said, like, what combiner exists, what doesn't, well, it's not being told.
I'm calling it that Victorian doesn't exist and we're going to see it created.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
But then, and I'm not going to go on the whole MacGuffin combination because that's... what was I going to say?
See, that might make sense. Yeah.
Oh, Computron. Combiner Wars is ending. They've got 2 box sets they haven't brought out yet, which is Computron and Leo Kaiser. No. Whatever you want to call it.
Betatron's out. Someone bought it the other day, I swear.
Betatron's not Hasbro one with Scattershot. I'm talking about the box set.
Yeah, no, but someone bought a box set of it the other day at like a Kmart or something. I swear they posted on the group. And it had the little UFO dude on there and everything.
Okay. Well, my point is that this is just starting. It's as all Hasbro property toy commercial, which is why we're seeing Starscream here in his leader class form and not a F-14. But Computron is the only figure, or it's the only figure coming out now. Everything else is gone. Like that Starscream went on clearance 2 months ago. So if they're gonna, like, you'd think Computron's gonna be a focus if he's coming out now, but then that might be just looking into it and trying to. Yes, there's going to be more Computron.
I still hope or pray that they're gauging this success of this and going to make a series, like a longer series. But I don't know.
This 50 minutes is done.
Yeah.
They've cut it. It's done. What happens at the end of the hour, we'll see. And like I've got no interest with the animation, the character design. Like Starscream, I love that. Hot Rod is Masterpiece Hot Rod. It's even got a big backpack on it, just like the Masterpiece Hot Rod does. It's got the flat chest, all the folds.
The chest is a bit flat.
And the joins underneath where the motor and the hole and all that is all the same. Like that's Masterpiece Hot Rod, which I love.
Yeah.
I'm just not the story or maybe the story or the production is just not getting me, and it's sort of hard watching it in 5-minute chunks like this. Like, yes, it'll be good if it's released at the end of the day. Well, of course, someone's going to stitch all these together, so it will be, but...
I think you're going to see maybe towards the end of the series if the other one that's with Rodimus there, with her little placard, it's going to have give me more episodes, or give me a different personality. She's going to be holding this placard going, give me this, give me that, give us another season, please. Let us explain some awesome stuff. It's interesting that they've done the toys first, and then now they're doing a series. Usually you see the series, and then the toys are generally brought out after that.
That's why they've spent no money on it. That's why they've gone for YouTube voice actors, like voice actors.
You can't judge the popularity or the way if people actually enjoy it just by throwing them on one specific station like Go 90 that it's been shown on, and the YouTube, it's out on YouTube as well. But it's you can't judge the popularity just by that. You judge it by seeing how the reaction is to buying the products rather than
Well, and that's right. And so one of the things, like I got a bit behind with my podcast listening, and again, TFW listened to one from 2 weeks ago before the debut, and one of the biggest concerns is, and it was quite funny, going onto the Go90 website and trying to see if they could actually download and watch anything else. It's one of those things like, it's only going to be on Go 90, what are we going to do? We can't watch it. And I'm pretty sure as soon as it airs, TFW or Sabertron, they'll post links to it, and the world, Australia gets to watch it. So...
Yeah, I got to, that's why I didn't watch the first one, because when it came up, I went to look at it and it had been taken down already. So obviously someone else has been putting them up, so it's there. It's good that we can watch it at least and comment on it,
well, most of them are linked from Machinima's YouTube channel, so they're either letting it air for a day on Go 90, and then putting it straight on their YouTube channel, which is great.
Yeah. That's how I watched the I don't know whether you guys saw the Mortal Kombat real life series.
That's what they're talking about.
Yeah. I talk about the Street Fighter one, but the Mortal Kombat.
Oh, sorry, Street Fighter, yeah.
But it was funny listening them to try and access it. That was good.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So, anything else on the Machinima? I've heard, I think they were talking too that episode 4 and 9, there's going to be some major Easter eggs to something, whether it's G1, past series. Don't really care at this point. But we'll be back to talk about episode 3 next week. So
Yeah,
I think it's good. There's another avenue to cure the itch. If you want to watch something to do with Transformers or get into a different avenue, I think at least it's there. It's the same with Robots in Disguise. Like, you watch that, but it was something for me to sit down. It was that kind of humor and action that I could sit down and watch it with my daughters, which was cool because it gave me an avenue to be able to sit and watch it without being. But they enjoyed watching it when Strong Arm was on there. My daughter was saying to me, "Where's the blue one?" And I said, "She's there. She's just in a different scene at the moment, or off in the ice in the snow with Optimus and everybody else, or she was here and there." It's good to be able to scratch the itch with something else. And especially if you can't access comics, or you can download them on the digital means, but it's good to be able to see at least something. They're doing something with it. They're not letting it drop.
Yeah, that's the whole digital versus physical. Like, even stuff like soundtracks, stuff like that, CDs. Like, I'll still try and buy the physical CD wherever I can. I'm sure, like, the same thing with comics, having that physical comic, whether you have a run, then have the trade paperbacks just to bookend a comic run or whatever else. But as for the cartoons, like, RID's at the point now where I've got my 4-year-old daughter watch RID as well, and sort of understand. That's where it's sort of, I've got nothing about rescue bots, but it's not needed. Like, kids that young can understand something like RID. To have the two sort of points, if you're going to have RID, or you're going to have rescue bots, bring it up a little bit closer to RID, then do something a little bit more, like Prime Darker. But then this sort of comes down to this: the whole Machinima Transform, the Combinables thing was supposed to be more for the adults or for the collectors. Yeah. Does that mean it's only because, yes, we're taking stories from, we've learnt that it's not from the comics, it's adapted from the comics poorly, but what makes this more adult than, say, RID? Yes, okay, we've seen a bot getting his face stomped, but the whole Sock'em Robots, we've seen Grimlock, Cannonball, and all that other bots, like robot on robot violence. It's a bot hits another bot, and they just keep on going till one goes, "You win, I'll concede," or whatever else. Like, it's not. What makes something more adult?
I think it's the animation and the way they handle it. Like, destroying a robot's face to try and get him out, instead of the old shoot them or like with robots in disguise, you constantly saw Grimlock falling all over the place, or he'd get knocked out, thrown into a wall, and he'd just go to sleep for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It has to be the content.
What's wrong? What happened? What did I miss? You know, and wet out.
Yeah, it has to be the content. I feel like, because South Park's a good example that it's definitely kid-like in its animation, but it's not a kids show by any means because of how they touch on things. So like, you know, that's G1 I think is great animation, but the reason it's kid-like is because, you know, they get in a fight and slap each other around, sort of equivalent of slapping each other in the face and then flying off like, next time, you know. And it's like in the real world, you'd kill, you know, in the real world, Prime would kill Megatron. That's just how it happened. He's going to eventually go, the only way this dude's going to stop is if I kill him. Like, you know, but that's what, you know, that's my thought.
All three examples that you just used, I can identify two of the the things that identify. One is dialogue, and two is the visuals. RID, Grimlock, he'll do something and it's like, oh, I'm hungry or whatever else, and make a joke out of it. Sort of look at that sort of thing, and as we've said before, Prime being darker. I'm not going to identify.
And in Prime, you didn't have that the little robot like Fix It,
yeah.
The stutter that he had, or the or be wheeling around, and the one time you saw him with guns was when his whole everything was all completely messed up, and it's one of those things where you kind of look at it and you can see where it's brought in to be childlike, but not without taking it too far, where we completely lose interest in it as adults, or as, you know, for that itch to scratch. You know, we can still sit down and watch it with whoever by ourselves or whatever, but but we enjoy Prime a lot better because it's got that darkness to it, and you can just imagine. Well, all of a sudden going, this is it. I need to do something about this, and you see it in the '86 movie. He goes, it's got to be stopped no matter the cost. You wouldn't see that in the TV series. One, because you couldn't kill Prime in the TV series because that would not be the end of it. You had to put it into a movie.
I'd say outside of Prime.
They're still a kids show at the end of the day. Like, even though they're aimed for an older audience, it's still marketed as a children's cartoon. Like, so that's why I think it's still not that dark. Like, as much as I hate to say, like the Bayverse is the darkest universe. There's no other universe that's that dark. No, like, because that's the most death and the most realistic. Like, there's other, like, people die in other episodes. I'm not doubting that, but you know, it's how they pansy around about it because it's a kids show. That's what I mean by the darkness. Like, you know, it's like the '86 movie Prime died, but I wouldn't really call it dark. We were just upset because we were little kids. You watch the scene now, and there's nothing dark or anything about it. It's a very, very well lit scene. You know, like it's all, you know, like it's a very bright scene. It's just Prime dying. Like,
but to counter as well, like to go the other way, and mainly because of dialogue and sound editing, is when they're inside Unicron and you've got the bots coming on the conveyor. You've got Daniel in the exosuit, and you got Spike and Bumblebee, and I think Jazz is hanging from the conveyor as well. And it's like they're panting, they're yelling like, "You got it, son! You got to help! You got to help!" Building up that tension. That's sort of trickling more into the adult themes as well, because it's not just, oh, he's going to go in there and bumble and shoot something and.
No, that's true, but like one scene doesn't sort of make up for the rest of the movie. Like, you can't just have one scene that's sort of dark and then think, oh, well, that movie was heavy. Like, you know, so that's why, I mean, that's what to me comes across then, like, you know, it needs to stay realistic on that heavy scene the whole way through for it to actually work, I think. Otherwise, it's always, you know, regarded as a kid's show, like.
And I'll agree, like, Age of Extinction, when Lockdown throws that grenade and turns old mate into a bloody T-1000, I still won't let my son watch that. That's even that gives me the heebie-jeebies, and it's sort of, that's one thing. But looking back at Prime, I think Prime is definitely the darkest of them all. Like, you got episodes, I can't recall it now, it's towards the end of the Hunt for MacGuffin in Season 2, but Bulkhead and Insecticon, when they come together in the crater and he finds the toxin, and he just jams it down its throat and it's sitting there screaming, and it's got green gas coming out of its mouth.
Yeah,
it's like,
right,
it's almost, stuff like that. Cliffjumper in episode 1, Starscream putting his hand through his chest.
Oh yeah, and there's definitely it definitely stepped it up, and like I think Prime's the most hardcore animated series out of all of them.
Yeah, zombie Quakewave, not Quakewave, Dreadwing's brother, wherever that is, Quake Blast, Quakewing, whatever it is.
There's Dreadwing.
Dreadwing. No, Dreadwing's the blue one, whatever the green one is. But same, like him zombieing around in the other dimension, like someone pinches his hand.
Cool.
Yeah, like
but
stuff.
Still, even then, like it started being kiddie-like though. How the kids were acting, and they're like, oh, and they'd sort of run and stuff. Like that's what then would bring that scene down for me.
Yeah.
But the robot himself was very menacing. I'll agree, and I was like, oh shit, this dude's cool, like a zombie transformer. But then the way they went about it still then made it sort of like, oh, let's run from a zombie like we're in like Scooby-Doo or something, like, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think they pushed it. And there was no Benny Hill music playing, so...
that's true. They didn't go left and right all the time, but, you know.
Yeah.
I think
there's nothing...
Machinima.
Yeah, I've showed my son both episodes, and there's nothing... I still reckon Prime's more adult than anything I've seen this. I've seen Wingblade cut a bot in half that you don't know who the bot is, really. And you don't see, like, it's a close-up shot of the torso getting cut in half. It's not her going on a big bot, so it's not. I don't know why you call it more.
They were fighting though. Like one could say that, you know, he lost a combiner lost 2 limbs just fighting in a fist fight. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah, but I had to rewatch that before on this big 22-inch screen just to confirm which two it actually was. So I think the whole adult themed or adult material on this one is just because it's being taken from the comics, which I don't cop out. Yeah. So we've talked 38 minutes on this. Brad, go for it, Brad.
I don't know. I was just going to say, I think the darkness of the Prime series, I think, comes also from the shape of the construction of the Transformers as well, the figures as they are. I mean, you look at Starscream, he's got really sharp fingers and real sharp points to him and everything like that. And Megatron's face, his teeth just are out of shape, and it just looks menacing.
Dare I say his bucket head's got long tusks, just like the movie design. But well, they don't curve up, so I suppose not.
About later.
Yeah, they don't curve up, so I suppose it's a bit of a stretch. But people keep on calling to Ultron. I say that's just as big a stretch. Yeah, all right. We'll go into the 40-minute run next week on episode 3. We got some rumours of some new Titans return. Yes, Titan return figures. Titan Master, Repugnus, and Shuffler.
Yeah.
I've got no idea who they are.
I only know like 3 of these figures: Top Spin, Preceptor, and Sergeant Cup. But I have no idea who Croc, Quake, or Getaway, Shuffler, or Repugnus is.
Croc. That might be the crocodile redone into Crocs with holes in it or something. I don't know.
Repugnus is definitely an animal from what I remember. It's definitely an animalish figure.
Yeah, the name's familiar. I'm just not seeing the character.
I think that's Repugnus. It's on that. That's Repugnus.
Yeah.
The figure is shown.
It'll be interesting to see what Perceptor is if they make him a microscope.
Yeah. And I'm assuming he's going to be a headmaster too. So. That'll be interesting. Top Spin. Isn't there a 2-pack of Top Spin? Twin Twist. That's the one. Yeah.
Twin Twist. Yeah. I bet you they'll end up making Twin Twist as the head. It'll be something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Top Spin was the jet, and Twin Twist was the Triller, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, but I bet you in this one will be the headmaster and one will be the body.
I had those. I had Top Spin and Twin Twist as a kid.
No.
in my collection, but I don't have many more, of course. But
they come around quite often, actually. Like I've seen them a fair bit. Like come up, you can get them for not too bad a price.
I've seen them twice.
They were the jump starters, weren't they? The pack and road figures. So
yeah, we gave a pair away, G1 complete in box at the last year's birthday party in the Victoria meetup, and they've turned up back on the BST group.
okay.
Sergeant Cup. As soon as I seen that blur mold, I reckon that was Cup backwards. So I'm still holding out. I reckon that's going to be the third redo of that mold. Of course, he was done as what headmaster was that? Not Hardhead. Who got he got done a couple of years ago last year. Brainstorm. Yeah, Brainstorm. I reckon. Yeah,
still the better Brainstorm.
Yeah, looking between the two, that original generation's Brainstorm just looks so much better as a figure.
Yeah, it is.
I don't have it, and I had no sort of need to get it at the time, but it just looks so much better.
I got it because I liked it, but then I've sold it off because it's not a masterpiece figure. But I still think it's one of the best generation figures that came out.
Was it a Voyager?
Yeah, it was a big size.
Yeah.
It was a decent size.
So it wouldn't fit with your classics or your Chug anyway.
Nah, it's a bit larger. Like, it almost worked with Masterpiece, but it just didn't have the same aesthetics. Like, when you have them standing next to all the rest, you could just tell it wasn't.
I suppose that's the same with the Classics Cup and Warpath for me in my Masterpiece collection. It's just sort of a stand-in just until I get either War Dog or something new. So yeah, we're gonna see photos of these guys maybe in the next 6 months, or maybe not.
They're only rumoured figures, so they'll either see prototypes or won't see them.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I've got the numbers next to them, so they're obviously something in the works to be done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good pickup.
Yeah. And you never know, some of those names might even be tied in the next movie too. They might be wave 3 or 4 movie figures. So
Sergeant Cup.
Oh man, you know it. One of those SUVs that we've seen is Sergeant Cup.
He's the combi.
No.
No, he's just
That's Combicron. It is hashtag Combicron.
He's his little minion, the little mini.
For Cybertron, apparently it's been re-released. I haven't watched this trailer to see if anything's new.
No, it'd just be, edited for the PS4. No, nothing new in the game. No.
Okay. Oh no, I meant the trailer. Like, I still think this is probably the best Transformers game we've got. I think it's hard to pick between this and War for Cybertron. It just makes me that whole much more sadder that High Moon went and done that horrible Deadpool game and completely lost everything. And then we got Rise of the Dark Spark afterwards. But I haven't got a next-gen console, so this doesn't really concern me.
I do. I've still never played this game fully, like all the way through, so I might have to buy it and play it all the way through on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I played it on the 360. I've got an Xbox One, but I don't have really any thoughts of buying it again to play it again. So,
well, especially when it's been dropped to as low as like $10 on Steam and everything else. So
yeah, if I just wait a month or two, it'll probably drop in price.
Yeah, I think with this re-release, it also comes with all the downloadable content too that was released with the game for the game.
Yeah, I got all the expansion packs, but I don't know how to use them, so
Yeah.
I wasted $30 there.
Fair enough.
Rightio. God Jinrai. Takara. This is some old news from I think it's in between TFCon and BotCon. Not BotCon. SDCC. Yeah, some upcoming photos of the Takara Legends Super Genrai, or as we know it, Power Master Optimus Prime. But it doesn't quite look like the Hasbro Power Master Pro, or the Hasbro Prime at least. Anyway, they've done some serious retooling.
It's got a base.
More so when you see the truck.
Yeah.
There's some colour differences. They've added the sticker on the side.
Looks good. Looks better than the Hasbro one.
The base mode, yeah.
Yeah, it looks a bit of a mess. It looks like a bit disjointed, but...
Yeah, it's not... I love the Blaster and Soundwave base modes.
Yeah.
I don't love this.
Yeah, because it's still just the truck at the front, you can tell.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
just the back that's opened up, so that's a bit stupid. Like, is he a rolling base, or...
Yeah. Yep. And
that's so he can just release the trailer if
he can just reverse up to Metroplex or Fort Max wherever he wants and just attach.
Just get out of there.
Yeah.
My biggest hang up in the bot mode is the feet.
Yeah, they're very odd. Like, it's... Yeah, very odd.
I hope it's just a mistransformation. I hope once we see this guy in hand that something's not twisting or...
Because I still think he's got 2 modes. I think he can make a little mode, remember? Like God Bomber or whatever. They just haven't shown it.
Yeah, so the foot's bent around.
Just from the truck itself. I think that this...
Remember last week when we saw the Hasbro ones does have a different mode. Like there's one little robot, a big robot, and then the 2 robots combine into that robot.
Yeah.
I think they just haven't shown it. Or maybe they just didn't go with it. They went, nah, we're Takara, and we're not doing that.
Because the main picture as the bot mode has got the trailer pieces and everything with it.
Yeah.
So there has to be. It wouldn't surprise me if there is a little truck bot mode that you can create as well, but.
Maybe you can't, but yeah, that's what I thought you could. I could have swore last week or the week before we saw Hasbro one can. It's called God Bomber or something, or some weird name. Max was saying.
Because there's not much. If you look at the truck mode at the front, where there's the picture of the trailer at the back, and you can see the truck right at the front there, that it doesn't look like the shaping of the cutouts where you can see the lines where it all comes apart. It doesn't look like form something much. Like if those 2 wings come out, and then the front. If you look at him in major bot mode, it's almost like there's a bracket or a brace that goes over the front of him.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Over his chest, there's like a brace or I don't know, like a chastity belt or something or other. I don't know. Something that goes over the front.
No, I think that makes sense because that's like if you look at the base mode. That's those bits there that would have come around. That red bit there, that'll fold around. That's his arms.
Where that's sitting. That looks like that needs to go on the front of the torso. Because you see that.
Surely it wouldn't be a parts former.
No, it'll all flip around. I reckon, like that bit of the.
I'm thinking that whole cabin folds over and clips in where that.
If that'd turn around like 360, like flip. Like that. Like that bit will flip, and then that cabin will fold back over. Those bits will fold around as they make the arms.
Yeah. They'd have to be ratchet joints too, because to get that after so many times of doing it, you would never get the pose, that action pose that they have the first picture. After that's what annoys me most about some of these figures that are coming out is you see them in these heroic, good-looking poses from the box, but then when you get them. You've got a loose leg, or you've got a floppy.
The ratchets, the ratchets haven't been designed or implemented as good as what the thing shows.
Yeah, my Combiner Wars Stunnercons ones. I've got it in Manosaur mode, and it's just got to stand there like it's a pure robot like this. Otherwise, he just falls all over the shop.
Mine's using G1 Ford Max as a prop.
Yeah, and that was the first bot in a long time that I've looked at it and I thought, I am buying that no matter what. I'm getting that really good. Once it was out, and then when I got mine, I was putting it together. I got Motormaster at the end and I was just like, oh man, this, and you kind of sit him up, and he's off balance, and but I still need to get the perfect effect feet to be able to put on him so he sits a bit better. But yeah, when you see all these bits that are around the bot, you think, man, how long is that pose going to be able to be held for?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but then I got
so much weight at the top, and it's backpack too. That whole cab is his chest.
Yeah, we'll see. Could be hollow though.
Yeah. There's nothing in there at all. That's where his head is.
Yeah, well, I had because I brought the Perfect Effect kit for Bruticus a long time ago, and never had a Bruticus to plug it into until I got the Unite Warrior one, and it's sort of it's the only thing that's holding it upright. It's just the whole Superion's the only torso that I've had that actually holds together.
Oh, really?
In place. So.
Yeah, I didn't get any other figures purely because Manasaur was the main one that I wanted, and that's the thing with the combiners. You can't. I saw them on sale in Kmart today, and I was going to buy, but then I looked at Swindle and Hound, and they're basically exactly the same figure, just different colours, and a different head sculpt.
Yeah.
And even at $20, I was like, well, if I'm going to buy one, I might as well just go and buy the rest of them as well. Makes it, you can't just buy one. That's the thing with the combiners sections. You can't just buy one. You've got to get them all.
But then, like as you said, with so your Hound and Swindles, those like the Hound's never going to be in Skylinks mode, so that's just a Hound to be on the shelf. Yeah, and I've got a like a Hasbro Swindle as well, so that's going to be just a combiner on my shelf, like a single bot on the shelf as well. Anyway, that's got a Jinrai Prime. Yeah, I love the deep red. I love the colours in it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
I think the suppliers got it for $135 for it a group, so if you're interested, let me know. But I think it's paired up with something. It's he wants to send some multiple figures in an order just to sort of work shipping out. So.
And the head looks a bit different too. If you look at the headmaster transformed in the head, and then you look down the next picture down, it's got more of the face brace.
I forget his name because he's a different character as well. So he is different sculpt to the Hasbro one, yeah.
He's got the mask as well.
There's a mask, it's like on Galvatron, the new Galvatron figure that's out. It's also got that mask helmet section. I mean, the headmaster looks very G1, looks really good up close. But then when you look at the next picture, there's different pieces on his helmet. Onwards and upwards.
That's it for Takara news. No more.
Yeah, it is a quiet week on the news front. That's sort of why we went after Machinima again. But some other outstanding news we've got to get to. Wonderfest. And it's probably a good thing Jason isn't here.
That's why you snuck these in again.
They were in last week's episode too, trust me, but it went long. Prime 1 Studios, they're doing their G1 styled premium statues. Here we got Megatron. One thing I will say, take close note to these designs because we're going to talk about something very similar when we get to the Movieverse. But I don't mind this as a look at Megatron. If I was watching a reboot of RoboCop, I'd say this was a reboot of Megatron. Like it looks like a human-built bot.
Yeah.
It's got its blockiness to it. It doesn't have all the innards and all the workings shown, but you can still sort of see there's panels and whatever else where you can see bits and pieces underneath. He's got his red sort of abdomen bits and his red kneecaps, random big snowshoes, but
Yeah, no, it's a good job. Like, it's not bad.
and even on his right shoulder, you got the cock and the handle, the hammer of the
His
pistol.
what?
The cocking handle hammer on his right shoulder. So
yes, very nice.
yeah. The LED eyes and the LED cannon work well. It's sort of
Although
as a
I
G1.
don't think Prime translates as well. Like, I think that Megatron is quite a good, like, move, like, update, but when you look at the Prime figure, it actually almost looks like it's gone backwards.
And
like, if that makes sense. Like, it's more streamlined, but it just doesn't work. Like,
Yeah.
and this is Brad will confirm the as again TFW said in that one episode, whereas Prime is sort of, like they said, 80% movie and 20% G1.
Yeah.
Megatron is 80% cartoon and 20% movie. They're not.
Yeah.
They don't suit each other. Whereas Megatron's, yes, he's like an updated, more detailed-looking bot. He's still sort of streamlined, and maybe a like a Cybertronian mode. And then
Prime,
you look at Prime, where
he looks too feminine. Like, not in a bad way. Like, that's the feet are too pointy and slender. Like, and like he's got, looks like he's wearing a corset. Like, like it's very in tight, but he's still got a very huge upper chest. Like, it's just.
I wish I had the photo on standby because I hadn't revisioned this, but this doesn't look like the concept art at all that they released a while ago. Like, the concept art they released a while ago looks a lot like what we'll see coming up with like the barricade and that from the movie. Like a lot more rounded thighs, shins.
What's with the open? And you look at his hands too. His hands are quite feminine. And what's with the flap on his crotch open?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it points up. It's very odd. Like,
yeah, that's
Like, the Nemesis version looks a bit better, just being all black.
I
like
the Nemesis.
Your eyes don't point out as much of the fault, but realistically, it is just the same figure. So I know it's still just as bad, but the color makes it seem like it's not.
Yeah.
Because it's just 100% straight repaint.
Than the other one. And you got the bent pipes shaped to the front, the bent exhaust pipes shaped to the front.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of the exhausts. The stacks on this guy just don't look.
Because are these the ones that were designed by that artist Josh Nizzi? Is that?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that what they were saying? Yeah. Have you guys looked at any of his artwork online?
I haven't, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that he is either involved in the movies or is taking some strong inspiration from what the movies have shown Prime 1 of what their upcoming bots have been, because there are some big similarities between this and what we're going to see in a minute.
Yeah, because when they had the first couple of movies, they had him draw up some prototypes of what they should look like, and and he wasn't able to put those up on his website until the movie was long gone.
Yeah,
and once he did, went through and had a look at them, and they were pretty beastie. But which is a shame, but a lot of the steel jaw from Age of Extinction, that was pretty vicious looking dog. But I like his art style, the way he has a lot of darkness to it, and which is probably why I like the Nemesis Prime better than any of the other ones, any of the other two. But even he's got the flap sticking up too, so
yeah,
Nemesis Prime. It's just weird, but it looks good. But yeah,
I love the update of the blaster.
Yeah,
it's got all the design cues the original one had. It's got more detail, but the shapes there.
I don't like the little front though. I think that the barrel needs to be wider at the end.
Yeah, it's not as big. He's got his two dashes in his triangle on his forearm, which is interesting. I don't know why that's there, but that's just that's pure callback right there. And then sort of
saying fist this way.
yeah. If you can see this coming at you, you're already. I from the torso down, it'd make a perfect movie Prime.
Yeah.
You can see it's got. You're not going to have a block leg for a G1 character. The wheels are there, the guards are there. That's a nice update. Yes, he's got his big knee pads, which okay.
You know what's annoying, and from the looks of things, it seriously looks like they did the same thing that Hasbro and Takara does. That the Optimus Prime has an embossed or emblem, and then the Nemesis one just has a sticker.
I can't zoom in.
That's definitely embossed in the big picture, but then when you scroll down to the Nemesis one, it's like the whole thing on there, and it looks more like a sticker. I'm like, if they've seriously done that, that's a bit slack for a,
Not on the shoulder.
$1,300 statue.
Yeah, on the shoulder.
Yeah, on the shoulder. Like because I'm looking at the actual news link, like I opened it up myself, Brad, and like 100% the Optimus's one, it's embossed and looks like it's at least 5 or 6 millimeters up. But then the Decepticon one looks like it's a flat sticker with a white back in between it and purple, which is just a bit annoying for the price that you're paying.
Yeah, and Megatron's on his chest is embossed as well. But
see, that's definitely embossed, but then that other one isn't. Yeah, 100%. Nemesis isn't.
Well, they just use the same one. I mean.
Yeah, like it just annoys me, like.
Yeah.
But it's the Beast Wars Optimus Primal down the bottom. I actually like. It's like the first Optimus Primal I've ever seen that I think that looks actually pretty menacing.
Yeah.
My biggest issue is with the fur. It's not.
Looks like feathers.
Yeah, long hair, feathers. Yeah, as TFW said, feathers.
But I sort of like that because that's almost what it'd sort of be, because they wouldn't really have fur. It would be a synthetic sort of, thing to look like.
Yeah, but it looks like he's been rolling around the leaves, like it, or he's transmutated with Tiger Hawk or something. It's just. Yeah.
When it's coloured though, it will look a lot better. Like that will disappear a lot of
I know. And colour. If it's just all the one grey, then if there's shading on black, if they do a bit of airbrushing, then fair enough. And
Cheetor is a good example. Like Masterpiece Cheetor didn't look very crash hot when it was the prototype, but then you see it painted up and it's got all the spots on it and everything. Like.
Well, yeah, Primal's the same, and they showed the whitewashing and what the difference is going to be. I love the Waspinator and all the bits.
Yeah.
He's standing on. That's definitely a highlight.
The Beast Wars symbol down on the bottom of the base.
Yeah, on the base.
Yeah.
I think with colours, the colours of the Beast Wars one will look so much better, especially with the logs and the
Waspinator will real stand out. Like.
Yeah.
Even the honeycomb eyes, like just that paint. It'll definitely. It's probably one of the more deserving price tags of $2,000 than the others, but yeah.
That's so much.
I know. My supply could get it in, so I'm in dangerous water at the moment, but yeah.
That's what I like about Supernovas and stuff, is going to some of those stands where they do have. They had the one stand there last year where they had all the Megatron statue on the very top, at the very top of the, and they had a Prime one as well, and they look really good. But man, it's a lot of money to drop on one of those.
Yeah, that's it. And I hear it all the time. People, statues, blah, blah, blah. People are buying them. There is a market there, because even now, Prime 1, they're doing Dark of the Moon Shockwave. It's 4 years old, 5 years old character, and they're doing it.
Yeah.
So there's want for these.
Someone's buying it.
No. I'd nearly prefer just to buy a movie Prime, maybe the Dark of the Moon Prime or Revenge of the Fallen Prime as a one-off.
Even still, for that amount of money, I don't want to see any flaws. I don't want to see any. I wouldn't want to. I'd be the worst customer in the world if I was dropping money on
But those ones have got like a massive, I think it's about a 10-inch round base. Big, solid base. They've got a dozen LEDs in them. The Prime comes with a couple of heads. And it just it makes it seem more worth the spend. I do find interesting in this Megatron shop. We got some nice looking Rocksteady and Bebop in the background.
Yeah, that's what I was more interested in. Bebop in Rocksteady.
I'm just wondering where I can go now to see photos of them.
Yeah.
Anyone playing Angry Birds?
No. But
I am.
It's still exciting.
I am, but I'm not.
Done and dusted.
I still play it occasionally, but nowhere near as much as I used to. I'll report if
it was good. It was good for a time. It had its thing.
Yeah, I'll report if Unicron turns up.
I'm pretty sure he's meant to be. It goes incoming transmission from Teletran 1. Spotted Planet Eater. He is coming. If that's not Unicron, jeez. Like.
Well, surely it can't be just a character with a Unicron helmet. It's got it like it can't be John's character turn up. Like, surely, surely it's got to be something.
It could be a stage or something where you've got to go to.
Yeah, like they'll be on the Unicron or something.
Or something like that. Yeah.
I've never played the Transformers one, so I can only imagine how the game actually works. But the Angry Birds I played, you just threw birds at shit, so I have no idea how that translates with some Transformers. Just get to pelt Optimus Prime at Unicron and watch him die.
We had to run around and shoot. It was basically platform based, and you shot at the bricks and blocks that were in behind. But the thing kept getting in the road.
It was different from the normal Angry Birds game.
Yeah. And you're running around. Side scroll. That's the word.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You just get shot. Things. Well, but you turn into a wash machine and you go hopping along until you turn back into your bot mode again. That's some nice little funny moments in there, and it was good. Again, it's not supposed to be a next gen console. It's not supposed to be Battlefield 1 or whatever else. It's a mobile game. Just enjoy. It's
a time killer while you're on the toilet.
Speaking of time killer while we're on the toilet, we've had some Movie 5 bot reveals this last fortnight. First up we have Squeaks. I think the obvious question is, where's the other wheel? This is a unicycle.
I guess it just folds in.
That's part of something else.
It's where it hangs out with Prime's trailer.
Well, that's the thing. You see his other where the leg should be. You got the chain and the sprocket. So why is the wheel not there? Maybe they're just trying to make this not look like Fix It, whereas they could have easily just painted a dull orange and called it Fix It and got all those kids and everything else that watch RID on board more.
But it's so weird because even there it does say then it consists of the front wheel as his right leg and the kickstand as his left. Headlights as his eyes, handlebars as hands, and the body forming a little dome over his Wally-styled face. So where did the other wheel go?
And I don't call that wood as a kickstand. That's not what I.
It doesn't look like any kickstand I've seen. And what's also the shit strapped to his back? Is he gonna try to go around helping people? Have a spanner. That will help. They're going to don't have this, and he'll come rolling in. Oh, here you go.
Yeah. Age of Extinction Hound is to bulkhead like this is to Fix It.
Oh, look, and there's a clean me written on his head.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's supposed to use those tools on his back when he's got handlebars for hands.
Yeah, I don't even know how he's meant to offer them to you. That's it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a clamp, like a clamps rather than...
Yeah.
Clamps. Like, Futurama. Like, clamps! use your clamps, Squeaks. Oh, really? You think I should use my freaking clamps that I use every time I get to use them?
I've still no one has paying me a photo of a Vespa with twin headlights, so I'm still jumping on that gravy train.
Yeah, he's also missing a rear view mirror as well on the left hand side.
Yeah,
and they just like go. Yeah,
he's very beaten up and rusted out, so he's got to be in a trash pile somewhere where, the character, that lady character that you saw him with in that one picture with Michael Bay.
Yeah, that little girl. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's something that she found in the, whether she had a spark from somewhere and it reacted with him and with the bike, and it's now this beat up.
I just like that they couldn't have obviously said a man's best friend, so they went a human's best friend because they didn't want to take off the dogs. Like, but a dog's a man's best friend. Well, it can be a human's best friend.
I love how it's mentioned in the article that the body's forming a little dome over his head, like a Wally style face. No. And why are you saying a Wally style face when it should be a Johnny Five style face? If you're going to make that comparison.
Yeah, that's a good point, because Johnny Five's forgotten about.
Yeah, well, that's probably exactly right. More people seen Wally than Johnny Five, but anyway.
the dude who wrote this probably never seen the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and even the round cylinders coming out the side of his abdomen, they're no mechanical part on a scooter. So, yeah, all right. We don't even know if they're going to transform properly in this, or if they're just going to be a cloud of dust. Although that was the human one, so.
Yeah, but he'll just go into a new car lot and just scan something and become something else.
Well, yeah, surely he can just go. He'll go and scan an R1 or.
Yeah.
No, that'd be a Harley, loud and proud. This one dropped first, I believe. Hot Rod. Yeah,
the head's ugly as.
Yeah, I think the head has been the biggest contention with this guy. I still reckon the colour scheme looks more of that air quote drift repaint we've seen.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, it has got the Lambo front, or not the that Mercedes-Benz front on his chest. But we're going to have two alt modes with very similar black and red paint schemes. Being Hot Rod, I don't mind the bot mode at all. Yes, the head looks goofy, but that's just a robot looking goofy. I wish he just had more of that Hot Rod red through, and maybe even just a worn out flaming chicken across the bonnet or something. Just
see, to me, he doesn't even look like he has a mouth. Like, he just looks like he's almost sort of bug-eyed and just, like, weird. Like,
like Bumblebee, like Bumblebee does.
Oh, if he's like Bumblebee, it's going to be the worst movie ever. If there's two dudes just going talking through radios and shit. Oh god, just shoot.
It's Parrot Head.
Yeah.
He looks like he's a fit endurance style robot too. Like, if you look at the back picture of him, he looks like he just walked out of 58 hours of bench pressing.
Yeah. I like how it just says slightly arrogant.
Yeah.
Just slightly.
What's the scale? What's the slide bar on that?
And they're like Bumblebee's brother in arms. So where was he like the past 4 movies?
Yeah.
He's a good brother in arms, isn't he?
That's been brought up. Oh no, Cliffjumper was his brother in arms and everything else. I'm going, why? Cliffjumper's never been in the movies, so why would it be his brother in arms? It's just.
But even Hot Rod hasn't. Like, Bumblebee's been captured and taken in by humans and stuff. Where was his brother to help him there? Nowhere.
Yep.
There's just not enough panels on him to make him look like a an actual and that's what bugs me mostly is when they transform into the cars, they're the cars, but then where's the rest of the panels go when they're in the robot mode?
This one more than the rest we're going to see. There's just yes, you've got the pecs, you've got the shoulders, and a bit on the arm and a bit on the shins. Everything else, and more so because it's curved. And I think that's one of the biggest things with the robot designs from the movies compared to what's come in other series. I'm not just going to say G1, but other series to have panels, to have a door panel on an arm, but it's wrapped around the arm it takes the shape of the arm. But when it goes to car mode, it springs out and whatever else. The way
that would be good.
Yeah. The way the whole panel designs on robots don't match what they would look like on the car once they transform.
Yeah.
Is there a bearded smiley face on his abdomen looking at me there? I can't zoom in on this, but...
Holy shit. It almost looks like a really tiny one, like 2 eyes and a little...
Like a little monkey face.
A little Papa Smurf or something, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this one, more so than what we're going to see the rest of him, is he is more robot than car. Especially looking from the back, there is a lot of moving parts here that we don't need to see.
Yeah, we'll never see a figure that actually looks like him.
And that's we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to a few more bits. But I think the leader, Age of Extinction leader Prime, showed us that to make a more humanoid character with those round panel lines, well, we can just mold that and just have a shell on the backpack to come around everything.
I can understand if it's one of those those aerodynamic cars that are built for the track on a Sunday and that's about it. And there's not much paneling to it at all. But when it's a Lamborghini, the brand new Lamborghini, whatever, something or other, something saying that there's just not enough paneling on there. And I know you can say that they fold out from underneath and everything like that, but it looks like he's got 2 gun holsters on the 2 sides too. If you look at the front, they just look like panels, but on the back, they actually look like gun holsters. Like he's cowboy.
Crosshairs Mark II.
It's a built, based on an aerodynamic or an aerial atom or something like that. But not when he's a Lamborghini and there's not enough paneling there to create the vehicle around him to become the vehicle.
I suppose one criticism, one positive out of all these movie designs we've ever seen is the torso. The torso, the chest, especially for the cars, any sort of concept car or any cars that actually exist. I'm not talking about cons and the scouts and the protoforms or whatever else we've seen with them, but a lot of the cars, you actually see the front of the car as the chest, even though it might be this split in a couple of pieces.
Yeah.
You look at G1, a lot of G1 bots, the chest is identified, you can see the Porsche, the wagon, the truck, whatever there, but the rest is normally just a block of colour. Which doesn't resemble the rest of the cars. You look at the Datsun brothers. There's a windshield on the front of the leg, but there's not the rest of the car, the rear windscreen. So.
Yeah, then you look at Drift in the next one, and he's got the big, massive Mercedes right in the middle of his chest.
Yeah, I'm sure Mercedes paid a lot for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. They would have paid. I guess Hot Rod is just maybe a concept car or something that doesn't exist, or no one can buy it anyway, so they don't need to have a big symbol on whose it is.
I don't think the design's changed. He's still got the helicopters.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, the exhaust ports are still in these, which.
Yeah, because it literally says Drift appears to be using the same robot mode as Age of Extinction, but this time in a red paint scheme.
Yeah.
So but as Jason pointed out during the week, though, it's very RID drift colours a little bit muted, but it's that that dark orange colour. So.
Yeah. I just don't like any of these descriptions, like history, no longer in hiding. That's not his history.
No.
He wasn't hiding in the last movie. He didn't spend the last movie hiding in a box. Or something.
Yeah.
You think they'll still transfer as that? Like the back. If you look at the back, it looks like a helicopter engine.
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. He still looks like he's a helicopter.
Will it be?
Was he a triple changer or?
Yeah, because the knees are still helicopter exhaust ports for the engines, which I don't know what they're down there on the knees and not up on the back of the torso where the helicopter bits are, but...
maybe Mercedes are making a new helicopter.
But then, really, in hindsight, a Bugatti Veyron and whatever his miniature helicopter was in AOE, like the one scene we've seen it in, it's not... You can pick worse things in the movies than that.
I have no problem that he was a helicopter than a car. Like, I think that's fine. Right.
But at least something like movie Springer or Sandstorm, you can sort of see some of the helicopter in the alt mode, in the car mode, whereas he's a sleek Bugatti Veyron, and I know sort of what. Yeah, but goes into one of those.
But if they were real, I think, like, as much as I hate to admit it, if they were real, it'd be more like the Bayverse, because they are a living organism. So then they just scan that vehicle. They're not really that vehicle, and that's where I think we all have that big problem. Like you're saying Springer had part of the helicopter in the car mode and vice versa, but that just wouldn't happen. They would scan a helicopter and look like the helicopter, and then scan a car and look like the car. And then they could go back between those two modes, but it doesn't mean that, if it's a Lamborghini, part of the Lamborghini has to show in the helicopter, and vice versa.
It's a disguise.
But when they come into a robot, it could then relate to both designs come across in its robot form, because they're just lazy, I guess. They don't want to show their normal Cybertronian robot form, so it just mixes whatever they're disguised as, to their robot, like. If that makes sense, like, because it would just be evolution sort of thing if we were talking about them as a real thing that someone didn't create, like
kind of like a mimic that's able to...
Yeah, exactly.
Once it's mimicked something, it then remembers that mimic and it's able to resort back
That's
to
it.
that.
So when it changes to a robot, it still has part of those things on it because it's mimicking it, like, yeah.
And the sword's got AMG written on it, so it's definitely a Mercedes sport.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we've seen the car, so we definitely know it is. But yeah, you're right, it is weird that it still has that, like, helicopter almost rotary blade on the back.
Yeah.
Maybe he still will turn into a helicopter at one scene,
Well, you'd hope so.
Until that day, we won't know. Until we see it.
Yeah, I can't wait. It'll be exciting.
Yeah. All right.
Crosshair?
Hound.
Oh, I missed Hound.
Go back one.
Yeah.
We speculated early on that this was going to be Hound. I think for me it was the crosses. Sort of said no. Well, that should be Ratchet, but no. Yeah. Yeah, so was Barricade. But
oh, and not only that, do you notice there on the trailer that it says Ghostlight?
Yeah, that's a company that makes trailers.
Yeah, but instead of like Lost Light, is that the actual company?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. I was just thinking if that like something like Lost Light, but
they make heavy vehicle transportation trailers.
No, fair enough. It's just just the fact that it was right there in the shot. You know what I mean? Made me think, is that something to do with it? Like,
Yeah.
If we're talking about Combiner Wars, maybe. So, Hound has taken a heavy armament upgrade and medic upgrade. All those massive rounds on his biceps is new.
I don't know if chewing a round in your mouth is the safest thing to do.
Well, he done that last time and it saved his life, so it seems.
No, but it was a cigar, wasn't it?
No, it was a bullet. Although the end of the bullet was heated it up, so I don't know how that works. But
I swear it was a cigar. I'm gonna go watch it after this.
although I will call out right now that the firing pin on this bullet has been hit, so that thing's not going to fire. Although he spattered at someone, so
Yeah.
okay. Grenades and, as I said, grenades and medical patches on the one bandolier, so okay.
He's got that potbelly look about him as well, like what was it twin twist or top spin what was the third one? Not Age of Extinction. Anyway,
Dark and Moon. The target one had the guts.
Yeah, he's got that tub look about him. And still with the arms, his arms are the same as what they were in the. Remember, the arms were tracks as well, or bullet runs.
Munition belts. So
yeah.
That'll be interesting. I think my biggest issue with this bot, and even the original one, was the tire pieces. The tires come apart from the feet. I really don't like the look of that at all. But yeah. I hope John Goodman's voicing it again, and I hope he's a ballerina again.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. I don't know, like just that he's a medic, but it's still saying like always has his finger on a trigger. Boisterous Autobot Commando.
He's going to shoot you, then he's going to try and fix you.
Yeah.
If he's ever out of a job, he's just going to throw grenades everywhere and then go and fix everybody.
We'll wait and see. Maybe he's shocked from all the war and he's turned pansy.
Yeah.
Markings on his head.
Yeah.
-3.
Yeah. And that detail will come through a lot more in the movie as well. I like his knife's moved from his chest down to his shin.
Yeah.
I just hope. I'll talk when we finish watching these. All right, what have we got next up? Crosshairs.
This is one guy I quite like. I like his design. I like
coats,
the cape
back.
and that.
Yeah, cape coat.
doesn't work good as a figure, but but I love it in the movie. Like it just works so well. Like when he runs and drapes and everything. Like
I've just seen what cannot be unseen. I don't know if I want to share.
I'll scroll down and see it myself. I don't know.
With the face sculpt.
Got a bum cheek.
He's a ball chinian. I never even noticed that in Dark of the Moon.
And his nose, like, cause it's very.
It sort of
disappears into his upper lip.
Yeah.
It looks, that's not his upper lip. Like his upper lip's still down below. Like he's got a weird face thing going on. Yeah.
And I'll do one perfect troll killer here. Everyone, why has he got spyglass? Whatever else. Why'd Windblade have a sniper rifle in the Combiner Wars series? You're supposed to have weapons on you. Whatever else.
I'd still say even if you're a robot, you'd still have a scope because that still improves your eyes. Like, everyone wants an improvement. Like, everything can be improved. Like,
Well, if you're
magnified.
designed for a certain thing.
But lock-on argument's sake in the movie, still then had to put that massive big cannon over his face and to shoot because he still needs to aim and needs a sight.
Well, that's his primary weapon.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it still needs to go over his head and everything, it doesn't just shoot off because he needs to aim it, and, so that's why I guess she'd still have a, because even though she's holding a sniper rifle, she can't detect where the barrel's facing, they're not.
One thing I did not mention for that, she can look up, and when it zooms back, she is miles away. Yet she can zoom in as if she's a fly on the wall, and have audio?
I don't think she had the audio. That's what annoyed me as well. I was like, what, was she, was she waiting to kill them?
We're hearing audio through that, whenever there's a scope photo, we're hearing audio.
Yeah, but I don't think she's meant to be hearing it, but I'll admit I picked up on it thinking, wait, is she not killing him because she's waiting to hear what they say? Because that's pretty stupid. She should have just shot them when she had the chance, like all movies stuff up.
Yeah. Anyway, Crosshairs, one of the biggest things, even with the Age of Extinction design, was his that yellow cord coming onto his arm. It was in the original design. I don't know what it done. It disappeared in car mode and it reappeared. I don't know what that is.
That's the distributor cable, the distributor cord.
Yeah, and he's got
that off when he breaks.
He's wearing headphones.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's a strap that goes over his head as well as on his ears, on his ear, where his ear would be if he was an eerie robot. But it looks like he's got the antennas for the earphones to. And even in the robot mode, in the big picture of the robot mode, there's still a strap over the top of his head.
I always figured it was part of his cape or cloak. Yeah. Like you could imagine that would unattach from the arm and then go over to the other side of his shoulder there, so it'd be in the front of him like a cord that would stop the cape. So that right there. Instead of plugged onto his arm, it'd plug up to the opposite side of his chest.
Yeah.
But then if, like a cape would, and then if it fell off, that bit would catch on your neck. That's the only thing I can possibly think of, and they're just trying to make it look, human. So that's why they put something like that on there.
Yeah.
And unlike the bots we've seen before, this one doesn't have the car as a torso. You've got the lights there, which are sort of awkward and unwieldy.
He's very human, this one. Even the feet, when you look, it looks like he's got those sort of samurai little shoes on where the toes split,
Ninja Turtles was brought up during the week, and I remember seeing that with the original design too. So,
his hands look cool. His fingers look very pointy.
Oh, I love him. I think he was quite good in the last movie.
Yeah, I had no issue with him in the last movie. I've just the twin guns on the belt as well under the coat. So, Barricade's back, guys. Look, it's Barricade. Again, gun holsters, armored up.
And people said that he didn't die, but he did. He got shot in the head. His legs were blown off. And then he blew up. I rewatched it just like yesterday or the day before because he literally blows up, man. He falls over and blows up.
Right, because I remember the scene. They shoot him in the eye and they do the whole thing in Dark of the Moon and shoot him in the eye to disable him or to distract him. And I remember then he got one leg blown off. Did he get killed? Did he blow up afterwards? Did he?
Yeah, I'm certain. I'm just gonna look at it again now. Barricade's death. Yeah.
In the meantime,
keep talking.
He is armored up. He's got the punish and enslave knuckle busters, whatever you want to call them.
He looks way boss, I think.
But then he's got him on these elbows as well, which means what's that one? That's slave. Okay, so he's got slave or enslave on his knuckles and his elbow for the same arm. So it'd be better if they were different. Like he'd come in with a right hook and go punish, and then the finishing shot is an elbow to the face, which would be an enslave. Yeah, so he'd keep punishing and slave to each arm. But so he again, like Hot Rod, the face is. It's almost like they got masks on or something.
Yeah. Battle masks. The battle masks showing.
Yeah, like this. Look at this. He's got 4 eyes. The big round gumpy feet, just like some of the others had. But more, it's sort of special looking at the back. Yes, okay, it's probably the rear tail lights of the Mustang, but it's sort of getting into more of that humanoid car panels wrapping around a leg.
So I don't know if what it just showed. He gets shot in the eyes. He then gets shot multiple times by soldiers. They then put grenades on his legs and blow his legs up. He then falls down and they're all approaching him, shooting him, and that's when the video cut out. So unless something dramatic, some magical happened in those the next 2 seconds, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say he got killed.
Unicron was floating over he is in orbit, and
beamed him up.
He's a herald. You'll see a scene of him getting reformatted,
Yeah.
and you'll get the Matrix.
But I don't mind. Like, I'm all for them bringing. Like they do it all the time. Like, but I think he looks quite menacing. I like the beefed up look and the guns all around the arm.
Armored, yeah.
Yeah, and the bloody punish and serve.
Enslave. Enslave, yeah.
But there's a duplicitous Decepticon sentry. Does that not mean that he's almost like a Vehicon? Where...
Yeah, you're right. So maybe he isn't barricade, is maybe just there is multiple barricades.
He was in Revenge of the Fallen in the desert as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And so was another one or two of them.
And I know, yes, of course, it's because they're reusing the CG and everything else. But to have him there when somehow he's got from Mission City or whatever they called in the first one to Egypt to fight. It might be, yes, okay, this might be the new Vehicon. This model is called Barricade. Every year they get a new model. Last year's model was Crunk. But, yeah, we'll see.
Because he's got the punish and stuff on his elbows. If you look at the back picture from behind, he's got the...
the bronze bits on his elbows as well. And even the car mode, the alt mode, the on-set car mode we've seen in set photos have got the punish and enslave on the back.
Yeah,
punish and enslave on his shoulder, like on his elbows, but then on his fist he's got protect and serve.
Is it serve or is it punish?
It says, because it literally says in the news thing. It says even some brass knuckles sporting the options protect, serve, and then punish or enslave.
Okay.
The punish and enslave are the ones on his elbows, and then he's got protect and serve on the actual fists.
Yeah, I thought it was the same.
Yeah. So no, he's got 4 different ones. It's good. They can hit you 4 different ways.
Yeah, you're gonna get some choice in how you die.
Yeah, that's it.
And the big one.
Maybe he's bipolar and just doesn't know what he wants to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that shot to the eye will do it to you.
Yeah.
And last up from the movie reveals, we have the Dark Lord himself, Megatron. Complete with that bit of an upgraded shot of that head we've seen from earlier on, which has been named everything from Predator, Ultron, Veg Face. I'd never noticed on my iPad that it seems to open up on the bot mode. You can see the horns are really spread wide.
I was just thinking that then. I was going to go, why is it in and out? But clearly that must be battle mode. Like when he goes to fight, it must close in, and when he goes to talk, just like how Prime's face thing drops, like that will open up, and then it'll be him talking.
Which sort of makes sense for if you even we'll go back to it. Prime Megatron. If you're a gladiator arena, you're gonna just sit there and okay, maybe he's got your animal teeth. You're gonna bite someone's optics out or something and use your teeth. But really, in hindsight, if you're going to go into battle, then your probably voice box and your speech and your face is going to be something you want to protect.
No, that's true.
He's got the same skirt at the front as what Prime does.
Yeah, very similar.
90s look, and the almost like the shield is a smaller style shield, but he's got a right on.
I don't think they're going to be on Earth. I think they're going to be in space or something, and that's why then they look like this. Like they'll come back to Earth, but they won't. I reckon they're not going to be like vehicles in this movie.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't reckon Prime or Megatron's going to transform.
A lot of people have said that shield on his arms is actually his arm cannon, and being a nice nod to the original cannon.
Well,
well, I actually see it as an arm cannon, but then in here it's like it's saying it's a shield, but I just don't see how that's a shield. Like, that's clearly got an opening at the bottom there. Like that's a cannon.
Well, you're also
unless it's both.
You're also implying that Megatron's left-handed, which would make him weaker all of a sudden. Not to alienate our left-handers, but really, if you're right-hander, you are superior.
But wait, was it the cannon's always been on his right arm, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah, it has.
Zing.
No, but that's I wasn't trying to put down left-handers. Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
I mean,
let me just,
that's how it's always
let me
been.
just write something down here.
Yeah. Like, like he's always, that's why the
Well,
cannon's
it
on the
makes-
right hand, because the cannons, you need to aim with that bastard. That's the more important thing.
Well, okay, that makes sense. But then to have a wielding weapon on your left hand, but then robots left and right would be the same power.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you'd think
again, argument denoted.
so. Irrelevant.
Yeah, I still reckon this is going to be a major flashback of this, and maybe a different looking Prime as Knights.
No, I don't know, like, I just don't see why we'd go flashback.
But it's like if we went from
If there was going to be a flashback, I reckon it would have been the last movie before Galvatron.
Yep, no, but it's like if it's like Revenge of the Fallen. Starscream, sometimes you need to winners retreat or whatever else, and they flew off. You had Tank Megatron fly off and Starscream fly off.
Yeah.
And in Dark of the Moon, when they come back to Earth, Megatron is a unicorn and Starscream is a umbrella. There's too much of a design change between this and what we're seeing at the end of Age of Extinction.
Yeah,
What?
but Galvatron in the last film is floating around.
Even that, for one, Galvatron.
Watching everything happen.
He said he's reborn.
Yeah, but it's still Megatron reborn. Like, remember, because they only named him Galvatron. Remember it was that little dude giving him all the schematics, and really that was Megatron lying. Like, it was never meant to. So I think he's just going to revert. Like, he's just going to slowly revert back into a robot, like a different robot, without that big stupid hole in the middle. Well, that's pretty.
It's got to be programmed though. Something's got to program him, the nanoids or whatever else to take.
But they already were. They already were just getting taken over. Like, remember, because at the end he was Megatron again. He was just like, ah, and started.
In mind, not in body.
Well, technically in body, because that's his new body.
But that's not this.
No, that's not that. But I think that he's just going to slowly override it. Like, his will override those nanomachines, because it's already shown that they didn't have to transform. That thing could just turn into a mess of metal and just go and turn into the truck. It didn't do the So why can't it turn into that?
Yeah, but then the other issue we've had too is we're 4 movies deep, and Megatron has looked pretty much the same through the whole lot.
Until he got until the 4th movie, because they rebuilt him with that new Transformer technology where they could just turn the metal into whatever they wanted.
The technical name Transformer.
So he's an upgrade. He's upgraded. He's better now than any of the other Transformers because he's got that upgraded metal.
Patent pending.
Yeah,
but that's...
Hey, it's Bayverse, man. Anything can happen. Roll with it.
Yeah.
Just roll with it, Brad.
I know. I'm just going off Prime and his Lost Knights and all that. We know, okay, he's got his Night mode. That had to have come from somewhere. I'm guessing that he somehow
I see what you're saying, because he looks like Prime, that they both had it at some stage. I see what you mean.
Yeah, and the whole, when Prime gets to the ship, which was the ship of the Lost Knights or whatever, that was hinted at in Age of Extinction, he got his gauntlets and upgrade again because he held the sword, which was there, where I just believe all that existed before.
Maybe, it could. I'm not doubting what you're saying. That still is a possibility. I just don't see how they're going to go backwards, like in the way of why it's required to go so far back.
Because a relic gets to Earth in the hands of Merlin. Now,
yeah, but think about all the other times they showed like references like Dark of the Moon and that, where the battle in Cybertron and all that, but they never showed Prime or Megatron.
I know.
No?
Yep. I know, and that's the thing. The war started, if we're going to go off G1 scale, the war started 4 million years ago, if not longer. And we've seen Megatron fighting in that war in the first movie, and that bot mode sort of evolved to what we see it now.
Yeah.
I reckon this is pre-war. This is before the Autobot and Decepticon split. I reckon the whole Prime Knights and everything, that is all before I'm not trying to call back on anything that's come before. I'm saying this is new canon.
If that's the case, that's sneaky of them, because in this picture, it's clearly got the Decepticon logo there and Megatron, and showing that that's him. And that's the thing. If what you're implying is true, they're clearly doing a complete misthrow there, because he wouldn't be a Decepticon. If you're saying it's back then before they were Decepticons, he wouldn't have the Decepticon logo there.
I know. Yep. It's not on his body. It's not on his body.
I'm agreeing with you. It's not though.
Yeah. Yep. They've got the ancient Cybertronian text on his head. They've both got red eyes, or red and purple eyes. From this, and we haven't seen Prime yet. I want to see. I'm hoping this week we see Prime, maybe B, and a couple others this week.
I even think they'll release pictures of Marky Mark, and with maybe some MacGuffin stuff as well.
Yeah, well, last time they showed them all leaning up against that little pyramid thing in the desert, which we never even seen in the movie. So
it just seems like they're trickling out these to try and I guess build up the hype for it. But it's like what John said, it's Bayverse. Until you've got your popcorn and your Coke in your hand and you're sitting in front of the film, all speculation everything before that is speculation. You can't,
And Prime has purple eyes, not red eyes, Brad.
Yeah, that's why it said purple and red. But that's the same with like the AOE trailer. You've seen the shot in the Arctic of the Dinobots frozen. And that was a complete
it wasn't even them, it was just...
Yeah.
It was just exactly dinosaurs frozen in metal.
Exactly like what Grimlock looked like as a dinosaur.
Again, reusing the character because CGI. Let's make the most of this $300 million.
Because if you watch the start of Age of Extinction, it's like, so this is the Dinobot. This is how they create the Dinobots, but it goes in completely different directions.
Exactly.
Yeah. I guess until then, until the credits drop. That's when you know what the film was actually all about.
But then they're not even Dinobots.
No, I'm still going with. The more I think about it, this is new Megatron. It's not old Megatron, because they're revealing Megatron. And so is Galvatron going to be in it, or is Megatron going to be in it? It's one or the other, and it's it's Megatron, because this is his reveal.
They've got to do something where in the film where they've got to either.
No, but you know what I'm saying? They've revealed Drift. We've seen those other photos like Hot Rod, Drift, and they've said this is Megatron. So that's going to be Megatron in the present universe. Even if it goes backwards, like you're saying, Brad, that's still going to be what he looks like when it comes back to the present.
Yeah. That's the thing.
That's his reveal. That's it. Like, that's Megatron, the new Megatron. They're not saying here's something. They've clearly stated this is who you're seeing.
Yeah, this Hot Rod and Squeaks sort of leans towards a full reboot or full new cast of characters and trying to start again, a soft reboot. Whereas Drift, Hound, and Barricade are saying, well, there might be a soft reboot, but here's these characters still coming over. So
that's a good point, because it could be. Like, I'd like that.
Well, it's twice the size of Barricade.
Yeah, and the rest of Hot Rod.
Yeah.
I don't.
It sucks though, because it doesn't translate into a figure at all.
No.
We've seen very similar production art in Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon of bots that were coming and never come to be. One person mentioned during the week that we also had Sentinel Prime named Ultra Magnus and Dino as Mirage, not Mirage. Yeah, Dino. No. Wheeljack and Dino.
Wheeljack was Q.
Q. What was Dino?
Dino was
Mirage, yeah.
Dino was the red Ferrari.
Yeah.
Wheeljack was the Mercedes with the country flags on it when they went and stormed the
the ambassador vehicle. Yeah.
Ambassador vehicle. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, stuff changes. Let's not even go back to 07 where Devastator was a tank. So in that one.
Yeah, that was more just copyright stuff that they can't do.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of this. I didn't put any set photos in the news or anything, but Onslaught, that heavy vehicle recovery vehicle's been named as Onslaught. We're going to have the Stunticons. No, not Stunticons, Combaticons. No, we're not. We had Brawl in the first movie. We didn't have the Stunticons. It's just they're using the names to keep the name.
No, but see, that Brawl was the tank, but that's it. Originally when the movie came out, it did say Devastator, but then by the time it came out on DVD, they changed it to say Brawl reporting.
Yeah, that was
so that's why, and that's then in number 2. Devastator was actually in it, but in this one, I'm curious about what I asked someone the other day, because we've seen Onslaught, Onslaught's been confirmed in this. I still don't think we're going to see the Combaticons, but I think we'll see Menasor. Just like Devastator, we never saw them as individual bots. We only saw them as Devastator. We didn't see the Constructicons. We only saw Devastator. They only formed Devastator, and that's what I think this is the new trend now. Same with Combiner Wars and all that.
I was going to say
bots.
Yeah, I was going to say, dare I say the Machinima series ripped off Revenge of the Fallen, where the Combiner is
the Combiner,
five bots combining, but the bots have no personality. So,
but I do think that's how it would really work, because that's it. If you're all combined and then a bit gets blown off, that makes sense. There's going to be breakages. You couldn't just retransform.
Well, they had Scavenger at the start of Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah, instead of Bone Crusher, so...
Yeah.
So, it'll be... Time will tell. I think.
He's also got on his shoulders, in Megatron in Prime, Transformers Prime, had those shoulder spikes. He's also got those on that.
There's also something in the chest.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the torso, you got it looks like a horn. Then you got the eyes and the in his chest.
Yeah, his left hand side of the chest.
Yeah, it's almost reminding me of Predaking from Prime, but I can't.
See, move your mouse up a little bit, and then go to the right. Stop.
That's the horn.
Go back down. No, go back down a little, and then now to the right. No, other way. Sorry, left. See there's a little bit, like a little patch. No, up a bit. That just stop right there. There's right there. That's a little patch that isn't on the opposite side of his chest. I reckon that's where the Decepticon symbol is. If you look on the normal link and zoom it up, it looks like there could be a picture there, or it even looks like there's a tiny little bit of purple.
Yeah, but that's the problem when you got figures not standing straight onto you too.
But that's what I'm just saying before how you said, he doesn't have a symbol on him. I reckon that's where it's going to be, because that's clearly one part of the chest that is different from the other side of the chest.
It's flat. It's a flat section.
It's a flat, and sticks out.
It definitely looks like a pouch or something. I can't zoom, but
because everything else looks unison, like the same on each side, but that's the one bit that doesn't look the same, which makes me think, that's where his Decepticon symbol will be.
So some of his shoulder pads, shoulder points are all a bit different as well on each side.
Yeah, that left shoulder is a bit different to the right. Like, doesn't have the spike on his right, but does on his left, because the left has the cable going into the cannon.
That's his power arm.
It's going to be interesting, and I'll call back to Darker Moon once more for Shockwave. Shockwave didn't have an alt mode. He was in his Cybertronian mode. Now, Cybertron, Driller, and all that aside. They retcon. They sort of let's make him a tank for the toy.
Which I like, because that was like Prime. In Prime, he was the tank, I think.
Yeah, but the Dark of the Moon one come first. And he wasn't a H. Oh, I suppose he was. But it's sort of, what are they going to try and make this turn into for the alt mode?
Yeah, no idea.
It's just, again, just like Age of Extinction Prime, the upgraded beefy one, it's sort of there's not enough truck bits in that to turn into a truck, but we're just going to have a big shell on his back to
That's what makes me think they're not going to transform in this one, as much as I hate to say it. Just Optimus Prime and Megatron, maybe. No, they'd have to, I guess, wouldn't they?
And the only saving grace is that Yuki, whatever the Masterpiece 9 or 10 to 22 or 21 was, he's working on the movie figures. He done the Combiner Wars Devastator, which was supposed to be a Masterpiece Devastator, and they also looked at other combiners as well, which gives me hope for the future. But he's currently working on the movie figures, so I hope we have a significant step up in design from Age of Extinction. I still don't know what this is going to be, because there's no wheel, tread, tank, jet, wing, nothing.
Yeah, there's no markings or anything there that shape anything to it.
But again, I suppose if it's meant to be Galvatron reformat, then all he needs is computer code to do it, and he can turn into whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So I do see that, but I'm still going to hold my hope that this is going to be a prolonged flashback.
Yeah, I still see that's how he's going to be.
All right, we will.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
That's it for the news.
That's it for the news. So I'll turn the sharing off. New additions, John.
I got absolutely nothing. Unfortunately, it's boring. I'm waiting for Toy World Yellow version, really. That's what I'm holding out for till that comes out.
Do you have a release date or anything when that's coming?
It's this month, I think. End of this month. Yeah, I think it's in... What?
Did I see something that
I'm sure.
the remaining green limbs that people like myself are waiting for on hold until the yellow one's done?
That'd be so funny.
I thought I was saying that. I thought I was seeing that somewhere. That the factory's been halted. All the green limbs that they were going to send out have been sent out. And if you haven't got one, that's too bad, because they have to get their yellow ones sorted. And they're doing it now, and the green ones won't be reordered until November.
That sucks to be you if that's the case.
Well, my Constructicons are only a team of 4.
Yeah, that's hard. It'd make sense, I guess, because if they're using the same mold and that, and they've just made up a whole bunch of, yellow plastic, they're like, oh well, we have to go with this now. And do it all. I don't know. I'm trying to find it on Premium Collectibles if the thing's up still. Oh yeah, here we go. So let's see when it says. Pre-order August ETA. So yeah, it's meant to come out this month.
Wow, that's really disappointing.
Yeah, so hopefully within 18 days I'll have a yellow Devastator. I can only hope.
There's only one, or there's 2 on eBay at the moment that I've found for the limbs, and they're 135.
Hey, to be fair, I've still got 4 gravity bots, and I'm waiting on the limbs.
Yeah, but that's just them taking their time releasing them.
Yeah.
These ones have been, we're only releasing 100, and then we're only going to release 50 torsos, and then if you miss out, well, it's stiff shit.
Yeah, it's poor form on their behalf.
Yeah.
Did you pre-order them, Brad?
Yes.
Surely you'd get them as a pre-order rather than buy them. That sucks.
Well, full disclosure, went through JustBots and talked to Ahmed. A couple of nights ago, we had a talk on the group about it, and he's just always getting from Toy World is not now, it's not coming yet, or just really small answers. and he's got people with orders to fill, and he can't get a response from them when to do it. And he said to them, he said, if you can find it somewhere else, he'd prefer to just cancel the order and go and get them. But the one person, I found one set on eBay for $140 each, and they're putting down under the brand as Takara. So,
really?
Yeah, I don't. Sure, if they're selling third-party figures, they're not going to list them as a Takara product. But that just stinks of a scam or
that's a mess.
Something.
Yeah.
So, I might only ever have 4 Constructicons.
No,
just think about Combiner Wars, you'd be able to turn them into hands and have no feet.
Yeah, but he's my Devastator though. He's on display as Devastator.
Yeah.
Although he's cripple state at the moment, he's got no legs. But Brad, what have you got? It doesn't just have to be this week. If there's anything over the last couple of weeks you've got in of note.
Yeah, no, I just not much at all. The latest is Wheeljack's MP coin. I got that from the Ozformers site, a sale thread on the Ozformers site. I'm waiting for that to come in, and happy about that. And also my other latest one would be the alternator smoke screen and G1 Warpath and pipes in very good condition.
Alternator smoke screen. That's the silver WRX.
That's the rally.
Oh, the rally one. Oh, yep.
Yeah, the Subaru rally car. So
nice. I want that.
I've been looking for those everywhere, and I found one in a box. Still not mint in seal, but still very good condition. And,
yep. And G1 Warpath, that's the best ever.
Yeah. That's pretty. I'm trying to build little mini bots as I go. So.
Yeah, he's still one of my most favourite little G1 figures. Like, it was such a fun little transformation.
Yeah.
But even just the engineering, like, is like the what do you call it? The hatch.
Yeah,
hatch opens up and it's got his head, like something like that.
It's so great, and then just how the turret's his chest and that. Like, he's just such a good, nice transformer. Like, I think.
Yeah. So I've got Hupper and pipes now.
No, I need a pipes.
And so they're the latest ones. That was probably about a couple months ago now, but I looked around on my last trip down to Melbourne and went to. I was going to try and get into a couple of different places, but didn't get a time to go there. So, but it's always one of those things. They're all around there. Everyone's got them, and people are selling different bits and pieces. So, always looking around. But my next thing, Silver Streak. Get the alternator Silver Streak. Get the brothers in arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The MP coins. You're a collector of the MP coins.
Yeah, I pick them up where I can with the ones that I already have, with the figures that I already have. I try and pick up those coins where they're available.
Yeah.
Do you remove the coin from the package, or are you?
No, it's still in the package.
You just display the packages as the coins come in.
Yeah. I'm thinking of different ways of displaying them. I know you can get those little acrylic stands to stand them on, but I'm more about keeping it inside because you've got the Trax ones. Trax opens out really nicely.
Yeah. Yep.
But you got to break them open to get the coin.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of and the colours are really nice. They design them really well, so you might as well leave it in the packaging.
Well, it's like if a third party and that come with, I suppose, like the Unique Warriors, how they got the open flap, just so you can have the box on display, but you've also got the flap open where you can see the figure in the clamshell or whatever inside.
Yeah.
Sort of a lot like the combiner sets, I feel. Like if you bought them individually, you open them up and throw the pack away because they're card back. But if you bought one of those G2 sets, you still keep that box because then if you go to sell it, you can just put them all back in the one box again.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of those things that I just try and pick up because they're so you can pick them up for $10 or so, so it's good. And most people have quite a few of them for sale at once, so they're good to just pick up as little things to add to the collection.
Yeah.
Especially if it's been a slow week and it's a slow month or week or whatever, there's not much going on. You see them up for sale. So. Yeah.
I got Willis coming yesterday afternoon before I started work.
Oh, damn you.
I have not opened him yet. I was going to do a live opening tonight, but
yeah, I've paid for mine, but I haven't got it yet because Joel said, "Do I want to ship it now or wait till my next bot comes?" And I was like, "Yeah, just hold out till that's so I can get them shipped together." But I sort of wish now that I didn't. Just want something new.
That's the thing. I'm sort of getting Sun Surge and Prime off him as well. I'm thinking, nah, just send it. I really need. I need some green. I need some green in my MP collection. It's all red, white, and orange, so I need some green.
That's it. And it was like the Make. Oh, excuse me, just yawning. The Make Toys one came out a few months ago, so I'd already seen a whole bunch of pictures of people posting that, and now like people posting Willis. I'm like, geez, I really need one. you know.
So they're nice figures, those Willis and the Hound. They look really good. And you were talking about Trailbreaker last week with the third-party stuff. You were saying that the cars look terrible. I think they look really cool, really retro. Like, the colour, the stickers. I know the stickers are a bit tacky and stuff, but
who said that? I'd have to have a look at. I'm not going to bring it now. Yeah. Because
not against it, but they were just. I'm not going to get them, but.
Yeah, I'm not personally. Like, I don't. Trailbreaker's not a major character for me. So until an official comes out, I don't need a third party.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not the Bad Cube one. I'm pretty sure that takes some design aesthetics away from what the alt mode was and what the stickers down the side was. But I don't know if it's Make Toys doing. Is one of the other companies doing it, and that thing is spot on. I'm going, even if it's a placeholder, until we see the rule of three. Takara must be building one. So, but the alt mode alone has me interested in getting that. Just that is an 82 Hilux all the way. So
yeah.
And I just can't.
That's what I like about them. They just look really old and retro looking. They just look, good.
That's why I like the race cars, like, you know, the masterpiece cars. I can't think of their names all of a sudden. The
Datsuns or Lambos.
No, the like Wheeljack and the other one, the Lancia and the Lancia and that, like, yeah.
Or even Jazz, even though he's not an MP, but the Jazz.
Just the old school racing look, like, yeah, it is sort of good, like some of those old school cars.
Yeah. That's what I like about the rally car, the alternators, is that they got the opening doors and the opening bonnet and stuff like that, and then the
weapon storage.
Yeah.
They're nice figures.
They just do it really well lately. They're just coming out with some corkers. My next one that I'm looking at is Sovereign, the Megatron, not Megatron one.
Yep.
You were talking about Tyrant, the difference between Tyrant and him in last week's podcast.
The Galvatron.
Yeah, not Galvatron, sorry. That looks really good.
But Sovereign is in like the other company that's bringing out a Megatron.
That's
no, Sovereign's Fan Toys.
Fan Toys, yeah.
Fan Toys. No, I'm going with Despotron, Mag Toys.
Yeah.
I wish I can guarantee I can get that figure in. Otherwise, I would have kept the pre-orders open.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's only the Takara MP5 that's on the list.
Yeah, but Apollyon didn't Apollyon have issues getting in here as well? I'm pretty sure it did.
It wouldn't surprise me. I saw Mikey had his up for sale.
Yeah.
Grabbing that, but I don't even know. Can you actually get them in from Sydney to Queensland? Because I know Queensland is really strict.
Oh, inside Australia. If you're posting anything Australia Post, you can ship whatever you want. There's no, unless you are unlucky, they're going to do a random one-off scan through. And again, if it travels by air, maybe. Yeah. If it's traveling by road, you've got no issues whatsoever.
Queensland's actually real laid back. Like 2-3 years ago bought a replica handgun in Surfers Paradise, $500, like on an open wall in a shop right there, like, you know. And even I was like, how can you sell this? Like, this is clearly illegal, and you don't even have it hidden. And they're like, oh no, we can. No, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, you know, they ended up selling it. Like, but you know, that's it. Like, they just don't care, man. Like, it's quite funny. And I ordered like 3 MP5s in here, like, and that's it. Like, they just, you know, and they, even when I went to Japan and came back, like, you know, brought back a BB gun, like, I brought back 2, and one of them got found. Like, you know, I sent 2 boxes, and one in one in the other, and one did get found by customs. They scanned it. And even then, they didn't think, oh, well, let's scan this other box with John Ryan written on it. Let's just let that one go through. No, and seriously, they did. And like, that's it. I was like, shit, because I sent 14 boxes on one day. So that means 14 boxes went through. They only scanned 1, found something illegal, and then thought, let's not scan the other 13 boxes. Let's just take this and send them all through. So it still is really just luck of the draw. Like, it's just a random processing system, and if one box gets scanned, it just sucks to be you. You know, like, but they don't then go, oh, let's bloody check all of, you know, John's parcels. And they're like, that's it, because it still went through. And I got 3 MP5 sent, and they were all separately boxed, and they all came through all the same day. You know, so it's just, I guess, all depends.
I keep having this thing where the only time I'm ever gonna get something like a MP5, or if Takara ever do a Megatron masterpiece, that it'll have to be a pickup and then bring it in myself or something like that. And I never want to take the chances that sending it.
As annoying as it is, though, like, they won't destroy the item yet, though. Like, they do send you a letter first, so technically, if they're not going to let you have it, you'd still be able to write them back and say, well, you have to return that to the sender, you know, like, so I can get my money back. You know, if you destroy it, like, you know, and I'm sure they would then just, you know, probably charge you to send it back, but still, it's better than losing all your money.
Yeah, right. Okay. Good to know.
Rightio. Where are we now? That's it. Outro. Yeah. We've still seem to have gone past midnight. Damn it.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't as mentally draining, at least.
Yeah, I think we've had fun.
That third-party post just didn't stop last week.
Oh, man. And the worst thing was, every time we clicked on something new, it was something we'd seen months ago.
Oh, it was killing me, eh?
Yeah. I'm thinking... We can talk about this now to show it. That'll be right. Outro, thank you for listening. This was Off the Shelf, the Voice of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. We don't have a forum or anything else on the group, on the website. Facebook is our group. Paid members interact there, both social and paid. If you don't like what we do there, then there's plenty of other groups on Facebook. We go up on iTunes each week, and you can find the recorded this posted on the YouTube channel pretty much straight away once we're done. John, what's you got anything coming up this week?
No, not really. You know, I'm always around on TCCA. Other than the voting week, let's all just try to keep it civil, guys. You know? It's all just fun, you know.
Let's move on from that.
But nah, otherwise they can find me at my page, the Unicorns Bar and Grill. But that's pretty full of madness. So only come there if you've already lost your sanity.
It's always good fun. Be strong of hide. Brad, thank you for joining us tonight.
No worries, thank you.
It's always good to hear the voice of a new collector in the group. So
yeah, it's good to be involved. It's good to have something like this where we can talk about the stuff that we're passionate about. We really like this stuff, so yeah, it's good to have a base that we can also voice our opinions. But wish we could express them a bit better sometimes rather than just sit through a keyboard.
And that's one of the biggest issues too, like having to talk a sentence. I could sit here and type something, and then say something and come across as completely different. It's just
completely different. Yeah.
And that's why we try and sort of do this on the podcast, do our live meetups and everything else, so we can talk face to face with fellow collectors.
Yeah, it's good to have it. So, no, thank you for having me on.
Very good. All right, until next week. I've been Brad Oz from Prime. Thank you, and transform and roll out. Someone told me to say that.
You hear Prime's voice